is a coastal town, and it's the most southerly town in New South Wales. It's right on the border with the province of Victoria. Eden's population is about 3,200, and it has the third deepest natural harbor in the southern hemisphere. The harbor is important because the history of the town is all about the whale hunt and land-based whaling for 100 years between 1830 and 1930. Behind me are the bones of Old Tom, a killer whale.
What are you doing today, girls?
We're in the killer whale museum and we're looking at all the whales.
Do you know what town you're in?
Eden, Australia. I'm glad they don't have the whales anymore because that was a horrible thing to do.
Even today, the Port of Eden is a huge fishing port and the largest fishing port in New South Wales. I can't believe how small the boats were that the whalers used to hunt the whales. Could you imagine going out in the ocean in that? The Eden Killer Whale Museum records the incredible battle between the men in rowboats armed with only harpoons and the great baleen whales that they hunted. The incredible part of the story is how the whalemen are assisted by a pod of killer whales in their annual hunt.
The museum tells the story of cooperation between orca and man that has never happened anywhere else.
This is the skeleton of Old Tom up close. It's pretty amazing. I've never seen a killer whale before. This is the only complete killer whale skeleton on display in the southern hemisphere.
Old Tom measures 22 feet long and he weighs 6 tons when he was alive. That's really big.
We call them killer whales, but really they're orcas. So when you hear people say killer whale, now you know the creature's really just an orca. The Eden Killer Whale Museum was originally built to house the skeleton of the orca named Old Tom, and to tell the story of Old Tom and the other killer whales of Eden. That's Twofold Bay out there, where the whole story took place almost 100 years ago. The story is about the most incredible human and killer whale partnership ever witnessed on the planet, right here. That's amazing. Old Tom was the leader of a pack of killer whales who helped whalers in the port of Eden to capture baleen whales.
I'm the captain of this here ship. I'm the captain of this here ship.
The way it worked was this pod of killer whales would herd a group of baleen whales into Twofold Bay. The whalers on shore would see the whales and orcas in the bay, and then they would sound the alarm, "Rush-o!" And the whalers would rush into their boats and head out to hunt the whales. After harpooning the baleen whales, the whalers would toss back some of the body parts into the water. That's gross! Gross!
Gross.
So when you're swimming in the ocean later on, you can kick up and go, "Oh, what's that?" And you pick it up. They would always toss back some lips and tongues, which the killer whales loved. This practice was known as the law of the tongue. So in return for herding the whales into Twofold Bay, the killer whales got to join in the slaughter and the feast. That's terrible! Gross. It was a great partnership between human and orca that has never existed anywhere on the planet. But it was terrible for the baleen whales. They were being tortured and killed. There's also a lot of other cool stuff to see and do. Oh. On September 17th, 1930, Old Tom was found dead in Twofold Bay. Dead. That's almost 100 years ago. Old Tom's bones were preserved, and his skeleton is on display at the museum for everyone to see. There's also a lot of cool stuff to see and do, like the huge steering rail. There's even a story written by Shirley Barrett that takes place during this time in Eden. The book's called Rush-o, and it's a fictional story based on true events and is described as an extraordinary time in history when a family of whalers formed a unique allegiance with a pod of killer whales, and one in particular they named Tom.
Whoa!
It was fun checking out the Eden Killer Whale Museum. But if you want to see more, we're not going to show you, so check it out for yourself.
That was a nice yawn.